Welcome to Cheam First Nations Custom Election Code Elder Interview Series, where we ask our elders about the importance of our June 2nd vote for self-determination.
Hi, my name is Duane, and here we have Alex, and the elder today with us is Amy Victor. Why do you feel it's important for the community to be able to design its own election rules instead of following federal rules?
I think that we need to develop our own election code, because who better will know what's needed in the community, or who knows the community members or whoever is being nominated, rather than having government dictate how we should go about doing certain things. Because they're in Ottawa, how do they know what's happening in Cheam?
Oh, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one. It gives us more the authority of our own,
Over our own lives.
Exactly,
right?
for sure, totally.
Mhm.
I can see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, because I'm a residential school product, so I'm tired of that kind of
Oh,
life.
definitely.
I know it got us nowhere. And when we took charge of our own lives, things started getting better for me and my family.
See, that's a great example. Of course.
Yeah.
How do you think this custom election code will affect how leaders are chosen, and what qualities should we prioritize in our leaders?
We'd have a choice in who we choose. Our own community members would have a say in who will represent us and who will be our spokespeople.
For sure. And what qualities should we prioritize in our leaders?
Humility, for one.
For sure, definitely.
I don't know, do you know the 7 sacred laws?
No, I don't actually.
Yeah, there's health, happiness, humility, generosity, generations, which were represented here. Generosity, generations, forgiveness, and understanding. So I think to be humble is a good value to have, because sometimes ego gets in the way of making sound decisions.
Of course. Do you think the custom election code will help unite the community? And if so, how?
I certainly hope so. We really need unity, right? It's a little bit better now than it used to be, but there's power in unity, right?
Definitely.
When the more people that speak up about a certain issue, maybe government will pay attention and put funding where it's more needed, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Of course.
Where it's to improve our community and become united, because as a whole, we're never going to be ever totally united, but to get the closest we can to that.
Of course. You're just practicing the teachings and just doing what we must as a community. Everyone doing their own part.
Our teachings in Stalo here is let's not one heart, one mind to move forward so that there'll be a better place for you young people, so that we'll leave you something.
So,
How can we ensure that the custom election code remains flexible enough to adapt to future changes in our community?
One thing is certain: nothing remains the same. Yeah, and we need to revisit that code to adjust to the needs of the community.
of course.
That's what I think. Yeah, because our needs going to be not be your needs at this point. But basically, they should be all the same. Family, for one. Family is big for us, our people.
Of course. How does the custom election code empower us to protect our lands and resources?
We've been trying for this for so long. Because you see what's left of our poor, our lands especially. Cheam is still, well, maybe maybe with this last chief and council, we received a little bit more land than we did have. But when I first came to Cheam over almost 70 years ago, it was the same size. And we've multiplied over time and again on the same plot of land. So I'm wondering, where are your grandchildren going to live? If we don't have control of our land, where will your grandchildren stay? Are they gonna be joining mainstream with that? Is that what we want?
Right, that's a great
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
We gotta put more of that into
Mhm.
thought, for sure.
So I think with our own election code, we'll have a say in that.
Definitely. It's awesome.
What role do you think spiritually and ceremony should play in our custom election code and leadership selection process?
True spirituality, I think, is a must. Because I was taught that you need help from a higher power in this day and age, in any age. Because when I had your grandparents, my grandmother asked if I believed in a higher power. I didn't at the time. Coming out of residential school, I didn't want to believe in anything else. But not knowing there was spirituality, because that was taken away from us. But my grandmother said you need to believe in a higher power to be able to function and raise your family in a good way. So that's why I believe spirituality is everything. We need to believe in the higher power to guide us in a good way for our family's sake. The ceremony is how we conduct our lives in a good way from day to day. Like births, deaths, marriages, everything relies on ceremony.
Of course.
In Stella territory, we don't refer to it as ceremony. We call it work. We're going to do work on this day.
Thank you for answering all those questions, and I believe that concludes our interview.